All right, guys. I don't know what's going on here, but welcome to the show tonight. Um, had a rough start there. I think I'm having internet problems. I assume you guys can all see and hear me right now, but I am not 100% sure about that because having some strange things going on my end here on the show tonight. But you guys can hear me out there. Welcome to the Crawford County, Illinois Ghost Hunter Society live talk show. This is episode number 24, guys. So hopefully we can get these problems straightened out here in a minute. But welcome to the show. It is currently Monday, November the 16th, 2020. And it is 9:13 p.m. according to my clock on my computer. I think it actually set back to the right time now. Last show I was on the wrong time. But welcome to the show tonight, guys. We got some stuff to talk about. Going to kind of update you on our recent investigations again, what we've experienced. And I think you can all see and hear me out there. If you can, give me a thumbs up. Looks like everybody can hear me fine. I'm reading the comments now. And this is really cool, too, because my viewer here on the show, it's still 8 o'clock. Yeah, I guess my thing still didn't switch, guys. Thanks for catching that again, Luke. Looks like it's 8:14. My computer is all messed up. It will not change on me here. But the weird thing, usually when I'm doing this talk show, guys, I have to use another device or tablet to view your comments and see your comments. And I guess one good thing tonight, they're coming across my screen, which has never happened before. So that saves me a little problem of having to have my phone booted up and have another device to answer and see what you guys are saying. So thank you guys and for tuning in. And we're going to talk tonight about, some of our stuff that's been going on. And I know you guys probably are going to get tired of me talking about Pine Lawn Manor, but you're going to hear me talk about Pine Lawn Manor again tonight and some of the things we've done, private investigations we've done there. But going to get right into talking about stuff tonight. It's probably going to be, a kind of a short show again tonight. I've got a lot of stuff to do after the show. I've got some more evidence to go over from our last investigation that I'm still, trying to get through. But we have got over most of the evidence. And I'm sure if you guys did not see our episode from Edgewood, Illinois, that's what I want to start out talking about. So we went there Saturday night to Edgewood, Illinois to investigate a house that's really close to a train track. It's an Amtrak. I believe it was 392 is the number on the track that ended up killing 5 people in one night back in 1988. Basically, the train rolled through and it hit a vehicle at one of the intersections, had a family of 4 in the vehicle and killed all 4 of them. 2 of those individuals were kids in that wreck. Now it went on to, it was the train going from Carbondale to Chicago. It went on that night, killing another person at a train crossing on north of Edgewood. So same train, I think, ended up killing 5 people on its route that night. So we named that investigation the death train investigation because our original intentions were to go investigate the crossing location also, but due to some crazy weather that came in that night, I mean, we were getting some pretty high wind gusts, rain, lightning. We were only able to do the house that we were called into. So we're actually going to have to go back to Edgewood sometime soon to check out the cemetery and the train crossing and finish that investigation that we started there. And, the train accident may or may not have a connection to the activity that the individuals were experiencing in the house that we investigated there at Edgewood. But, it's who knows, with that happening close by like that. Another thing we found out during that investigation of the house that we got called into there was a kid did indeed get killed out in front of the house. He was hit by a vehicle. So you've got another kid hit by a vehicle out in front of the house that is now reporting, activity of kids. They're seeing kids, hearing like kids. They thought, people were banging on their windows at night. We were able to debunk a lot of it right off the bat. And, I know we had some comments that night from a couple viewers out there. Why do you guys try to debunk stuff right off the bat? Well, why would we not try to debunk stuff right off the bat is my question. We're a serious team of paranormal investigators and researchers, and we don't blow smoke to anyone. If we think it's, something unexplainable within 10 minutes of being at the location, then we're going to let you know, that we've figured that out, that, hey, we think this is the cause for that or the cause for, something else. We're going to let you guys know any activity that we debunk when we debunk it right off. If it is, right at the start of the investigation, it's right at the start of the investigation. We're not going to go a whole investigation, let people think there's ghosts and spirits in a house when, we can logically come up with explanations for windows rattling and footprints that match up to the individual's kids' feet that are upstairs that were reported to be ghost footprints. It was an identical match to the individual's child that lives there. So we have to say, that, the kid that lives there probably is responsible for making those footprints upstairs, that they would look like almost muddy or bloody. I don't know. They were a brown colored substance on the floor that looked like footprints of a child. And I took the individual's kid, took his shoe off, put his foot beside it, matched up identical to the footprint. So I have to rule that out as being a human being, a living human being kid that caused that footprint. Could it have been a ghost with the same size feet? I guess, but more than likely not. Most of the time in these situations where you've got houses where people are experiencing haunting-like phenomena, you got to go with the natural and logical explanation. You can't go with the far-fetched, oh, it's a ghost, when we've got evidence that it's probably not a ghost. Now, I'm not saying the location wasn't haunted. So, the house is extremely old, a really, really cool house. So, it has the potential for paranormal activity, definitely. We were only there a short period of time. We're not the say-all, end-all when it's, comes to, hey, this house is haunted or it's not. But we're going to give you our opinion of the location during the time that we were there. And during the time period that my team spent there, we really couldn't find a lot of paranormal activity going on. Doesn't mean, the house isn't haunted. Doesn't mean, things don't happen when we leave. But while we were there, nothing happened really. There was one incident that I do want to talk about that could have been paranormal. If you want to use Ghostbox or ITC as evidence toward a haunting, and I'm 50-50 on the fence about that. Whether you can say there's an active ghost or spirit in a home or location by a voice that you get over a ghost box. Ghost boxes are radio waves coming through, these devices. They're not what I call true EVPs. I call true EVP an EVP you get on a recorder out of thin air. You got an audio recorder, you're sitting there, you're recording, and you get that EVP come across. Nobody's talking. It's not using any type of radio transmissions or any type of white noise in the background. Nothing where any type of human voice or radio wave could interfere with that is coming through, and you're getting that on the recorder. That's what I call a true EVP. So when it comes to ITC research and Ghostbox, I guess voices coming across the ghost box, you have to be extremely careful. Like I said, I've said this in past shows, we have to be extremely careful in labeling that as paranormal activity that can indicate a location's actually haunted, because with the ghost box and the ITC research, I truly believe it's almost the stuff that really does come through that I call paranormal, that it's a voice that intelligently reacts to what I'm saying. It responds to what I'm saying, or interacts with, where we're at. It says, something indicating where we are at, or something we've been told during the night. That's something we look at, and sometimes we use as evidence, sometimes we don't. The weird thing about this one is, we were running the ghost box in what we call the cedar closet area upstairs, where when they took us through the house, they told us about a psychic medium. And again, I'm not a big fan of psychic mediums whatsoever. We do not use psychic information as evidence toward any type of paranormal occurrence anywhere we go. We just, they gave us information the psychic told us, about some stuff they'd seen and heard up in that area. But the kid, and we don't know where this name's coming from, but the kid said that his name was Jacob, I believe. They told us his name was Jacob. We actually did get a voice that came across the ghost box while I was locked inside that cedar closet that said Jacob. Now, we don't know who Jacob is. We don't know if he died there. We don't know where he came from, what he has to do with the house. Have no idea. So, take it for what it's worth. We did get a voice in there that said Jacob, and that was one of the names that was told to us by, the dad as he was walking us through, that said that, they had gotten that name before. And so, we also did in the cedar box area, cedar closet area, up in the upstairs area where I'm talking about, we picked up another voice that said, I'm a spirit and I died here, along those lines. Problem is, Courtney talked over the top of it toward the end of it, so I had to throw it out as evidence. But I do believe that was probably a legitimate piece of evidence too, coming through. It did say I died. You can hear the word spirit, died, and it almost sounds like in the basement at the end of it. But you guys can go back on the live feed and listen to that if you haven't seen it yet. But definitely maybe something there. Not a lot happened while we were there. Now, the individuals, they were experiencing what they thought were windows shatter, rattling and being hit in the middle of the night. And I 100% see why they were scared and why they thought, stuff was going on there. But it's clearly a lot of the windows shaking is caused from the trains nearby, and even distant trains are rattling those windows. They're rattling the doors, even the cracks in the windows. I could say, as much as those windows are getting rattled, if you start out with a small crack, it can start to crack over time, because they were worried one of their windows had cracked at one point. And I truly think a lot of it has natural explanations regarding the trains being so close to the house and the shaking and vibrations going through this house, constantly. And, we could hear the trains, we could hear the rattling a lot during the night while we were there. So, I don't blame these people at all for getting freaked out, being asleep, or, when you wake up in those deep stages of sleep and you hear a window rattling or something shaking, and even I think it was shaking the house hard enough to open doors in some places, because we had a door open too down that went down to the basement area and got popped open on us. And Trish, one of my new team members, said, hey, I shut that door. And she came back and the door was open, and I believe 100% she had shut that door. Whether she got it latched all the way, I don't know, but it was popped open. But, the drafts going through these old houses, the house is shaking from the train. I think it all had a natural explanation. I don't think a ghost or spirit physically opened that door. Like I say, and I truly think that the individuals, they got a lot of pictures too that they'd sent to me. And what happens a lot of times in these hauntings, guys, is people, they do see and hear something paranormal during the course of living in a home or apartment or any location where they're at. And then once they actually see something real, then they've got this thing in their mind, well, everything's a ghost, everything's paranormal. I'm not saying that's what's happening in this family, but it happens with a lot of places, like they'd sent a lot of pictures to me that I was able to debunk too, that they thought was a kid standing in a doorway, and it actually wasn't. I blew it up, looked at it on my picture programs, and it was pareidolia. It did look like a kid, if you don't look at pictures 1,000 times like I do, I don't blame them one bit for thinking that was a kid, but I've been examining pictures sent to me for years upon years of ghost photographs, so I know what to look for, and that's why people send us pictures. So, I blew it up, immediately debunked that as being pareidolia or something in the background that actually looked like a kid, but wasn't. It had square edges to the body outline, instead of like a silhouette of a human. It had there was a vase in the background or some type of tall object on top of that, which made it appear to be a head. So if you looked at it and just glanced at it, yeah, it kind of did look like a kid standing there. And I see, there's nothing wrong with, those people, they think that's what it was, because, they don't look at photographs like we do a lot of times and try to debunk things, especially when they probably seen or heard something there that scared the heck out of them at one point. So, again, no disrespect toward this family that called us in or anything. We just debunk a lot of things and try to help people out. And I think, by telling them a lot of this stuff was not paranormal, maybe it's going to help them into getting back into this house, because I truly think, I don't think there's anything in the house for them to be afraid of, to where they, I know they're scared to go back in there. I don't think they should be. I mean, I've seen far, far worse. But so that's what was going on during that investigation. I recommended to the family today. I said, hey, I don't think there's anything, in there that you should be scared of. You guys could probably move back in, but that's their own discretion. I mean, I like places, scary places, so it wouldn't bother me at all. But some people get scared of that kind of stuff. But I think if there is anything in there, maybe it is a child spirit. Maybe it is associated with the ghost or with the kid that was killed on the street outside in front of the house, maybe his ghost or spirit entered into the house after that wreck. So, but a lot of times people get so scared of this haunting like phenomena, they want to move out of their homes. I don't know how many times over the years we've been called into houses where people say, hey, I'm moving out. We've got all this stuff going on. And we find a lot of natural explanations, that some of it's due to the fear of them actually experiencing maybe one paranormal event. So, but that's what's going on there on that investigation and what we found. But we do have to go back, check out the train tracks at some point, the cemetery where they said they see a ghost going from the cemetery to another house. So, a lot of cool places we've been investigating here lately. We appreciate those, the individuals calling us into that location, and hopefully we've helped them out by debunking, some of it, and telling them, they don't need to be scared of their house. So, but we've got a lot of stuff going on still. Last Friday the 13th, oh my gosh, that's what I want to talk about now. Looking at Michael Staffy, did you find out if someone killed themselves in the basement? Michael, yeah, that was one of the rumors there too, that they were telling us that, a homeless guy got into the basement and somehow died either of an overdose or hung himself. There was multiple, stories regarding, whether it was overdose or hanging. We cannot confirm that or deny it. I mean, we don't have the information to tell us whether, somebody did that or not until, we find newspaper articles or obituaries or something, that regarding that incident. We can't confirm that happened in there. A lot of times, stories get started, people will say things, and sometimes they're not true. Sometimes they are. There may or may not have been a suicide, related to the homeless person in the basement. I mean, that's something we didn't pick up anything regarding that on any of our devices, on any EVP or, ITC sessions that we done down there. We did not record anything regarding a name or I died or something coming across our devices. So no evidence on our side to suggest that happened, but it doesn't always mean anything. Looking at the comments here. Also, like again, guys, since we've got a lot of new team members here recently, and I'd like to welcome, some of those to our team members. I got a lot of new team members, really, like Amanda Routon. She just came on recently, and she's doing a heck of a job. She's helped us with Pine Lawn Manor and doing guided tours in there, and she's just doing phenomenal. I mean, I wish I had like 10 Amandas. I mean, she's doing great. Then Wendy and Ed Reese, they came back. Yeah, we got Trish Kidwell. She's just now coming on. And you guys probably know Luke from the live feed here, Luke Massey. He's now joined my team. And he went with me on that investigation. He's been with us to Pine Lawn, especially after he's seen all the stuff that took place there. We got a lot of people wanting to join our team after they come to Pine Lawn and see all this stuff happening. And I try to tell them, that's that's a 1 out of a million place right there. Don't expect that to happen on every investigation we go on, because there's things going on there that I've never seen anywhere ever. So, and that's what I want to go into a little again. Because I know you guys are probably sick of hearing about Pylon Manor in Southern Illinois, but it's still just unbelievable. It blows my mind. I do not understand it. I cannot debunk it. And every time we go back, we went back this Friday for an investigation. So Friday the 13th, we had to go out on that one, guys. I mean, we went out there to Pylon on Friday the 13th, did a private investigation. I think there was, I don't know, I have to go look at my numbers I put in our report on the page, but there was like maybe 8 of us and 10 or so from the public that we invited back, or special guests, we invited in, because we like to take skeptics. We like to take people that don't really believe the activities going on. I know there was a couple people on our posts that we put out regarding Pylon Manor about the marbles and stuff hitting the wall. It's like, oh, I don't believe that. Till I see it, I invited them. Come on down. I mean, I want you to see this. If you're a skeptic out there, get a hold of me. I will take you in there, because this stuff is real and it is happening. And that's why I'm doing the public events in there. And I'm trying to get, as many public people in there that's not with my team to verify, that this is actually going on. We're not making this stuff up. If I was sitting here listening to another paranormal team say that marbles are materializing out of nowhere and quarters are coming out of walls, I'd tell them they were crazy. I mean, I really would. I would say, you guys have lost it, but that is exactly what is happening in there. And I cannot explain it. And I want the world to see this, because there needs to be a serious documentary made about Pylon Manor in Southern Illinois, because there's a haunting-like phenomena going on there that is unexplainable. And it's multiple hauntings wrapped into one. I mean, it's everything you can imagine. It's intelligent, it's residual, it's poltergeist-like activity. I don't like the term portal hauntings. I think that's hard to explain, and I don't know. I don't like the portal hauntings, but if there is such thing as a portal haunting, it's probably there. But it's just the most crazy amount of activity you can imagine. And Diana says I'd love to go to Pylon. I'll definitely take you, Diana. I want to take people that want to go and they want to see this stuff. So get a hold of me. But yeah, it's just crazy. If you guys read our last activity report, so we go in there on Friday the 13th. We went there a time before, after the guy got taken out by ambulance. On our public haunted tour, a guy got hit, like in the knee hard. You could hear it on the recorder get hit. Whether he did it or not, I don't know. I'm not that guy, so I can't say he got hit. Only he can tell us that. But he was taken out by ambulance, and that was on our public tour that everybody's seen. Well, we went in there once after that, done a private investigation, and not much at all. We didn't get anything. So I was pretty scared when we went in there, and we got a few knocks, but nothing like we did on Halloween and our public tours in there. We went in privately, and we didn't get much after that. And I was like, oh crap. I was like, something made it mad. It left. Maybe, it was poltergeist activity. It burned itself out, and, it wasn't happening. But after the guy got hit, we went in there, like I said, nothing. Like, it was just a private group of us went in. We didn't get anything after that. And it was scaring me a little. Like, I thought the activity was gone. So we went back on Friday the 13th. Again, this is what I'm talking about. We go there with, like 8 or so of us and 10 people from the public, because I want people other than us to witness this as our witnesses. And I mean, excuse my language, but all hell broke loose in there. The most crazy amount of activity I've seen yet took place on Friday the 13th. Banging on doors. Like, it started out early, and usually Pylon is from like 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. is when we experience crazy stuff. This started at 11. like 11 p.m., we started getting the crazy stuff on Friday the 13th. Door knocks, marbles flying out of everywhere. We had a couple individuals from the Oblong area that wanted to, go in. Sorry, I just got a message. Wanted to go in there with us. A couple guys that actually go to the gym where I work out, and they asked me in there. One of them just happened to say, I hope he doesn't mind mentioning their names on the air, but I'm going to mention their names. His name was Connor Potts and Cody Pusey, Chad Pusey's son. Chad's a cop here in Oblong. He's actually chief of police. His son went with us, and one of his friends, Connor, I wanted to take a couple people that wasn't related to our team, wasn't associated with us in any way, to show them this activity. And I think they freaked out because marbles started flying. They had no explanation for it. A marble came rolling down right at them. I thought Connor once, he jumped out of his chair, got freaked out. Cody was moving back and forth in his chair, said that he only came because Connor told him to come, so, and that's what's cool, guys. I mean, we're bringing people in there that's never experienced paranormal activity before, and skeptics. It's like, because Connor was kind of like, I could tell what I was telling him in the gym, all this activity is going on. He was like, kind of like, is this real or not? So I wanted to show him, and he experienced it. So, I mean, that's what's cool. These people that have no experience in paranormal investigating come in, these people from the public, and they're seeing this stuff. And during the course of Friday the 13th, this is what's really unique and weird. 13 marbles were thrown at us during the course of the night. Not all at once. During the course of the night, 13 marbles were thrown at us. And the weird thing about it, it happened on the hour for let me think about this, 5 hours straight. It happened on the hour. 2:17, boom, a marble flies down the hall. 3:17, boom, a marble flies down the hall. We started figuring it out, after that. And then we started looking at it. The next 3 hours on the dot, at the hour and 17 minutes, something happened. And at one point, this is the first time we've experienced this at Pylon Manor, I ask it to throw a handful. I try to get it to do things that are unique and show intelligence, to show that it's listening to us. I said, throw a handful of marbles. And Trish and Courtney were like, throw me a pink one, throw me a purple one. Well, I said a handful. They said pink and purple. Well, it dropped 3 marbles at once out of thin air, guys. I mean, these marbles come out of nowhere and they drop onto the ground. And it was like 2 of them were a pinkish, tan color. It's probably as close to pink as you can get, and then the other one was purple, and Trish had asked for a purple one too. So I asked for a handful, and it threw 3, and it threw the colors pretty much that we asked. And then the craziest stuff ever, I said, these are all the little marbles that's been thrown. I said, can you throw the big shooter marble? They're pretty good size, guys, like a shooter marble or somebody. I'm not a marble person, but I think they're called an Aggie or something like that. Also, it's the shooter marble. But I said, can you give us a shooter? I mentioned that several times. And then, it sounded like a bowling ball hit. It was loud. It hit the wall. The weird thing is, me and Trish felt something almost like go to the side, and Trish ended up pushing me to the side, knocking my hat sideways, and boom, this shooter marble hits the wall, puts a dent in the wall behind me and Trish, and lands right there, and it came out of nowhere. And she got freaked out, like I say, and jumped on top of me. My hat went flying off. I've never seen anything like it. People were, it's just unbelievable. Then like I say, during the course of the night, it happened on the hour at the 17 mark on the hour. And we had let me think about this, 11 marbles as we started to leave. So we had 11 marbles, and we get ready to walk out. We're getting ready to clean up, lock the doors and everything. We're walking out. And boom, another marble hits. That was number 12 as we're walking down the hallway toward the entrance. So it's following us at this point. We get to the front entrance where we've never experienced anything. Boom, another marble hits the table and falls onto the floor. That was number 13. So whatever it was followed us from group 3 down the long hallway to get to the entrance, through another one, and then through, the number 13 as we were in the entrance to leave the building because it knew we were leaving. So it followed us out of the building, basically. And like, it was just crazy. And I I counted them. I'm like, it was 13, we were there on Friday the 13th into the 14th. And just amazing. I mean, and I'm going to tell you what our next steps for this is. Audrey's asking, what area was this? Not sure what she means there. Excuse me. Audrey, are you talking about what area where the marbles happening at? If that's what you mean, all the marbles except for marble number 12 and 13 took place in group 3 hallway, or what we know as Red Hall or group 3 hallway, which is the north end of the building, is where most of the marbles took place. It was like a bowling alley. I mean, there was like marbles coming at us from everywhere. And it was just crazy. We didn't experience any pennies that night. One other thing, when we went to check during the course of the night, we figured out that it was happening on the hour. So we thought, well, we might as well not sit here the whole hour if it's only going to happen, around like 3:17. So we went down to the south wing for a minute to check on the crazy room. When we go to the south wing of this building, in what we refer to as the crazy room. And again, when I say crazy room, we're not referring to the patients in any way when we say that. When we say crazy, that's what we call that room because of the activity that takes place in there, the crazy activity. We mean no disrespect toward the residents that used to stay there, but we just kind of nicknamed it the crazy room because it just crazy. The North Hall probably should be the crazy hall too. I mean, that's unbelievable. But anyway, we go to the crazy room. We walk in there, and there's a spare tire that has been leaning against that wall the whole time. It's been there during every investigation. It's been there during every public event. It has not moved. It has not went anywhere. And we tell people not to move anything. We photograph everything. Nobody was down there. Nobody had been in there. And that tire had moved 1.5 feet away from the wall and was laying flat, like something physically picked it up and moved it away from the wall and laid it flat. Now, unfortunately, nobody was present in the room when it happened, and we didn't have a camera in there either. And that's why I'm going to talk about our next steps in investigating this phenomenon at Pine Lawn and what we're going to do, because now we're going to get serious about this, guys. Me and Dickerson's been talking. Me and Ed Reese, we've been talking. Trying to read your comments here too, guys. I rewatched one of the sessions at Pine Lawn on my TV with AirPlay. My little dog never pays attention to the TV, but when we were in the crazy room, you were asking them to move the wind chimes and started moving slightly. She started growling and continued this for a little bit, looking straight at the TV. That's kind of weird. Maybe they can hear something through the audio. We can't. That reminds me of another event, like the tire fell. Also, I forgot about this. I wake up the next morning after we get back from there, we're sleeping. I wake up actually kind of in the afternoon. I woke up and Amanda Johnson, one of my team members, was messaging and calling, freaking out. She had found a 50-cent piece in her, or $50 in her car the next day. And that's been happening a lot too. People are finding coins, weird coins, they wouldn't have in their car or vehicle when they leave Pine Lawn. And this coin looked like it had been burnt. And I don't know if I put the picture of that up on the page. I don't think I actually did. But I'll have to get that picture and put it up sometime here. But yeah, it looked like the coin had been burnt, but it was a 50-cent piece that she found in her car. In she sat in her car. Again, neighbors have been reporting getting rocked when they go by Pine Lawn on the outside road. I told you that on the last talk show. Some of the neighbors have drove by and a mysterious rock flew from Pine Lawn and hit their windshield. I mean, how do you explain that? Stuff's happening on the outside of the building. But anyway, what we're going to do with Pylon now, we are going to, we're going to start getting serious. We're going to try to figure out what is happening, and we're going to bring in the whole arsenal. We're going to bring in thermal imaging cameras. We're going to do night shot video cameras. We're going to set all of our IR cameras up inside of there. And Dickerson had a really good idea. What we're going to do when one of these objects materialize, like a coin or a marble, and it comes out of nowhere and rolls onto the floor, we're going to immediately just put that marble through a series of tests, or that coin through a series of tests. We're going to, we're going to do temperature on it. We're going to do EMF. We're going to do radiation, see if it's giving off any type of radiation with Geiger counters, radiation detectors. We're going to try to see, the temperature of the object, if it stays warm, if it's cool. We're going to run, like I say, EMF meters over to see if it's throwing out any type of electromagnetic field. We're going to use thermal imaging on it to also get temperature variation of the marble compared to the environment around it. And also try to catch it materializing with night shot in midair. We want to get this footage out to you guys so you can actually see, or if we can hopefully catch this on video just materializing. On our Halloween episode, we caught it on live feed, but the camera is so dark. The camera we use for live feed is so dark, it doesn't allow enough light in for you guys to have seen that thing physically manifest like we did with our own eyes. Because we're sitting in there, in a room, and we've still got ambient light coming in. We can see where the camera can't pick up enough light, and it shows blackness. So we're going to use all IR next time in thermal imaging and try to get video footage of this stuff coming from nowhere. And we're hoping it happens when we do that. Did you do it live on Friday the 13th, Linda say? No, we didn't. And the reason we didn't go live on Friday the 13th is because we had went back once after the guy had got hit and nothing happened. So we were kind of worried. We wanted to go back and kind of just go in there by ourselves with a private group of people and some people we invited and sitting there in the dark, see if anything happened. And it did. And I wish we would have been going live. And the thing about it, we've talked about this too. Will it happen if we go live? Will it happen if we're rolling footage? It's happening in the dark with no video, absolute quiet. And, sometimes like when we talk, it gets our attention by throwing another one. But we're going to try to get it on live on night shot, so it doesn't, maybe we're going to trick it so it doesn't know we're filming. But it happened on Halloween on the live feed we were filming. So I'm hoping it'll happen on our IR cameras, we get everything back in there. Reason we haven't done a full setup with our IR cameras yet is because there's no electricity into the building. And we've got to find a night where we can run the command center and put it up there, and everybody can stay all night and run the cameras in there. So, but I think we're going to be doing that here soon. So hopefully we will catch this stuff to show you guys on video and put it up on the page. And I promise you, if we catch this stuff, it's going up on the page because it's crazy. Travis Cooper said, no, they didn't. Yeah, I think he was answering Linda there. This is cool that I can see the comments on my screen tonight. I don't know what's up with that. Maybe my program updated, but I don't have to look at two devices now. But you guys have any questions out there? Anybody? Ashley Christman just made she just made kind of a comment I wanted to touch on. Says it sounds very intelligent, and this may be exactly what you started the CCIGH for, this moment, this place. I agree with you 100%, Ashley. I've been doing this for close to 24 years now, and I've never seen anything like it. And I've been trying to go to places I've been to places all over the United States that say, oh, this is the most haunted place in the world. And the most haunted place I've seen in the world so far is Sumner, Illinois, which is crazy. It's in Lawrence County. It's down there. I've never seen anything like it. And yeah, like I say, I think this is our place. I don't know if the place chose us or we chose it or both, but I don't think there will ever be another location that we investigate that can even hold a candle to this place, that can even compare to this location. And that's why I want to get as many people in here in a short amount of time as possible, because you never know with these old buildings, what could happen to them. We're trying to actually buy the place. And I know I've said that every time, but we are seriously probably going to buy the place. I'm still kind of managing it and talking with the owner about it, but that it's probably going to happen, especially after Friday the 13th, what I've seen and heard in there. There is no way we can let this place get ran down and get tore up and get sold and turned into apartments or something, because I think, it's still somewhat in the condition that it was when it was Pine Lawn Manor, when the mentally disabled individuals were there. The rooms are all still there. Some of the beds are still there. The walkers are still there. The suitcases are still upstairs to where they brought them upstairs, and some of them never left. It's really sad in a sense, but we're going to try to do everything we can to protect and save this building because it's a paranormal gold mine. And she said, bringing up the fact that it's intelligent, and I'm going to have to apologize big time from some of my first episodes regarding Pine Lawn Manor, because I was under the impression that, these individuals kept the same mind state that they did while they were there. A lot of them were mentally disabled, and they had the mindset, of a 3 to 5 year old when they were 30 in their 30s. And, I thought since they weren't interacting with our electronic equipment, they weren't able to communicate with us through EVP or any ghost box sessions, and they were mostly doing touch and physical things, that they had kept that same intelligence. I think I'm wrong on that now. I think they are highly intelligent now. I think they're more intelligent than us or anything I've ever seen. I mean, whatever is doing this in that building knows what I'm saying. It can manifest what I ask for sometimes. How this is happening, I don't know. Like the shooter marble, the callers of the marbles, give me a handful of marbles, it does. Give me a coin, it does. Guy said, give me a rare coin. It gave me a rare 1979 Susan B. Anthony with the high edges that I guess are pretty rare. It's highly, highly intelligent, whatever is doing this. And that's what gets me too. I mean, and the amount of force that has to be generated to create these objects, I don't understand it. That's the thing we're trying to study and research too. Where are the objects coming from? They're asking how old the facility is. That's one thing we can't figure out, John. We got to look at the, I guess the deed and abstract. I haven't been given any of that yet, but we're going to try to figure out how old it is. It definitely dates back to the 60s, probably 50s. I'm not sure when it opened. I'm not sure regarding, if it goes back further than that, but it was originally, before it was Pine Lawn Manor for the mentally disabled, it was a motel. It was designed as a motel, and people were renting it as rooms and stuff. And their back door is out every room. And how they kept the residents, in and secure with those back doors is beyond me. And, they had a lot of escapees was a problem. And I can see why they had a lot of escapees due to the way that it's set up. I mean, those back doors out a lot of the rooms that they could have just slipped out of. Have you had anyone look at the marbles and try and date them? No, that's our next thing too. And I'm glad you brought that up, John. We're looking, if there's anybody out there, is a marble expert, and we're a coin expert, we're looking for marble and coin experts, because I'm not. If anybody knows anyone that knows a lot about marbles, let me know. And John, if you can date marbles, let me know. I'll bring you down to Pine Lawn, because what we have right now, we were taking everything thrown at us, and we were taping it at the exact spot where it fell. We were putting blue tape with a date and a time as to when it occurred, and we were leaving it exactly where it was at for evidence. Well, last night, after Friday the 13th, we've got so much stuff laying on the floor in there. We decided to do a little different and pick it up. I don't know if we made a mistake by doing that, but people were starting to kick the marbles because they were laying so many places and moving them off of their original position. So what we did is we kind of did like a crime scene yesterday. We went in and we bagged and tagged each individual item. We dated it, with the time of date and where it was at. We marked the location. We also videoed and photographed exactly where it landed at from different angles with video and photography, put it in an individual plastic bag. And now we've got all the items, and this helped us see a pattern. We took all the items in the building that have been thrown at us, and I think it was like altogether, I think we have close to like 48 objects that's been thrown at us now during all of our investigations. That's during the course of all of them. We've had 48 things thrown at us now. And we took all these bags and we put them up on a table in there in Pine Lawn. We've got them, laid out and everything. And we've got them to where, you can see the times, dates, where they occurred at. And we put them in order from first object thrown to the last object thrown, which was a marble on Friday the 13th as we left the door. And by looking at this, we also got a sense of time. This is occurring from this time to this time, or the new moon phase and the full moon phase seem to be the most active time periods in Pine Lawn. So we're trying to put together a cycle of activity where we can look at this and try to figure out when this stuff is most likely to occur. Because we've been in there and nothing's happened. And that was the only time nothing has happened has been in our private group and not anybody from the public. When the public comes in, it seems like all heck breaks loose. So it's kind of weird. Trying to see, but yeah, we need to get the marbles dated. We need to get some of these coins looked at and dated. Says, have you ever had, Ashley says, could it be a tie to the land? Maybe. I'm not sure what happened on the land exactly, but there could be some tie to the land itself too, Ashley. I do know the location is very close to a cell phone tower. If you look in the background there at Pine Lawn, if you look off to the left as you pull in about 1/4 of a mile, there's a cell phone tower. And I've said this 100 times, every place we go where a radio tower or a cell phone tower is close to the location we're investigating, we have strange activity. I think it feeds it, almost gives it an energy. You've got those waves coming off those towers, electromagnetic waves and stuff that maybe it's feeding off of. It's like Bachelor's Grove Cemetery in Chicago. There's a tower beside it. Williamsburg Hill, Ridge Cemetery, at Williamsburg Hill, Tower Hill. There's a big tower right beside it. The house we investigated in Robinson, where the lady was supposedly possessed, cell phone tower behind it. Southern Illinois, we went down to an investigation where people were experiencing things moving and their animals were getting out of the cages and the cages were still shut. That was at the beginning of the year, beginning of 2020. And cell phone tower right beside the house. I'm telling you, there's a big connection to radio towers and cell phone towers stirring up or enhancing paranormal activity near locations like that. And I don't know if it feeds it or it actually causes people that come in contact with this who have EMF-induced hallucinations. I know we aren't hallucinating because we have the physical manifestation of objects, and we've got them all, and we've got it all on video. We videoed it happening. So, that's not the case at Pine Lawn, but, a lot of these locations, electromagnetic fields can affect people's brains and cause them to see and hear things that aren't there. And I've found a big connection with, that type of stuff. But it says Diana Woodward says your antique experts follow auctions. So like Parrot Auction, Fiscus might be able to help you. Yeah, definitely. We're going to try to get somebody to look at these objects. Try to read some of your comments. Fingerprint the coins and marbles. Yeah, we never really tried that. Andrew Miller says, I don't know. That'd probably be hard to get maybe the shooter marble. You probably could get a fingerprint off of it. The bigger marbles for sure. I never thought of that really. Do fingerprints to see, if anybody has touched the marbles. I assume is what Andrew is saying. That's actually a pretty good idea. It's hard to get. I think it'd be hard to get a fingerprint off a small coin. Again, I'm not a fingerprinting expert, but I know people who are. So I'm going to try I'll look into that thought, Andrew. Thank you. That's actually a pretty good idea. We'll see if we can get any type of fingerprint, especially the big shooter marble that we got. We could probably definitely get a fingerprint off that if it was touched by a human hand. And that's the other cool thing. When I picked up all these objects, I wore rubber gloves. I think Amanda, though, picked up a couple of them too, which is going to blow that part. But I was wearing rubber gloves so I didn't leave fingerprints on them. And I just didn't want to tarnish coins and stuff with oil from the skin and stuff. So I wore rubber gloves as I was bagging some of these. So we might actually be able to look for fingerprints and rule that out. So that's pretty cool. I never thought of that. But I know, being there and seeing it, it definitely is not coming from people throwing them. But, are they getting them from somewhere else and throwing them? Are they marbles that have, where are they coming from? I mean, it boggles all of us. We sit at home after Pine Lawn and none of us can sleep. We're having dreams. We're having nightmares because this stuff is just bugging us so bad that, we'll call each other in the middle of the night. Hey, do you think this could be why this is going on? Me and Ed will be talking about dimensional theories. Where are these marbles coming from? How is this happening? Are they getting them from a secret stash of marbles hid somewhere in the building? Are they materializing from another dimension? What some people call, heaven, some people call purgatory, or just another dimension in general. And another thing to think about, marbles, a lot of them are machine made. So, are they making these marbles in another dimension and they're popping through this dimension at us? I mean, where are these marbles coming from? And who's making them? And if they were made here, are they getting them from somewhere else and then transporting them almost like a wormhole into our area to throw them at us? I mean, there's so many theories behind, what this is going on. And it's just it just boggles my mind. I mean, you guys can probably tell out there, I can't shut up about this place. It's mind boggling. We set back and we try to come up with all these theories and we're just left dumbfounded still. It's and actually I talked about that on my last episode, pennies from heaven. And that's been a phenomenon that's been reported for years, pennies falling out of the sky, marbles falling out of the sky from your loved ones. And people have reported that, and they'll have dates on them with the date that the person died sometimes when they find them. And sometimes they'll find them in the person's bed that passed away, and it's the date that they died or the year they were born. Yeah, that phenomenon is known as pennies from heaven. And I completely believe that now. I wouldn't have believed that before Pine Lawn Manor, that a penny or any object that for that matter could materialize or manifest out of somewhere other than Earth. And it is. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. John Moore says, have you ever thought much of different dimensions? Objects just don't come from nowhere. Yeah, that's what we're kind of coming to the conclusion. These are coming from another dimension. But even if it's coming from another dimension, is it something similar to ours? Why do they have marbles? Why marbles? Yeah. And Brenda Cooper says, I would have to see it. Yeah, I know. Brenda, I don't know where you're from, but anybody out there watching that, yeah, is like, oh, he's not, this is bull. Come down. I mean, let me know, send me a message. I know, I'm not against you guys saying, oh my God, this guy is crazy. I want you to come down and see this. But yeah, Brenda, if you're from the area, definitely get a hold of me and we'll take you down there. She said she'd have to see it. Ashley says it's making you lose your marbles. Yeah, I've been told that like 100 times now. That's kind of like an ongoing joke there, Ashley, that we're losing our marbles. Wendy says, Ed says it's magic. And that's the best way to describe it, really. It is magic. We've looked into the idea of magic for years. People believe since medieval times or even before, clear into the Egyptian days with Isis and Osiris, the ancient religions of the Egyptian time period and the predate, Christianity by 2,000 years. People believed in magic. And, and we're not talking magic like David Copperfield and Houdini. We're talking a different type of magic. We're talking like real magic, not illusions, not that. We're talking the real magic that takes place in the world, like the power of prayer. People believed in prayer for years. If a bunch of people get together and they pray about a certain thing, sometimes a person gets healed. That's in a way magic, whatever you want to call it, whether you want to call it from, God or whatever. A lot of people have a lot of different religious views on that type of stuff, but it's a form of magic, and that's kind of what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with something we can't explain. We have no explanation for it. We don't know where it's coming from. And it is magic to us. We, maybe down the road, we'll understand some of this stuff, but I don't think so. I think this is something that will never be comprehended. But what's Brenda say? Oh, whoops, lost my feed there. I live in Louisville, Illinois. I don't know where that's at, Brenda, but Google search Sumner, Illinois, see how far that is from you, and get a hold of me, and we will definitely take you if you're interested in doing the drive down there, show you some of this stuff. Dan says upside down chairs, witches. Yeah, there's upside down chairs in there too, which is weird. One of the rooms has an upside down chair. We found a bunch of upside down chairs. I don't know what that signifies. But yeah, he's saying witches. I don't know. I wouldn't call it witchcraft that's taking place. I would call it like good magic or magic, because they don't seem really to be hurting a lot of people. And the person, I'm not going to get into that, but the person got hurt. I think when we go into Pineland, you got to have a positive attitude, and I think the people with negative attitudes are getting different results. That's what we've noticed. If you go into the location, that's something, that it's taught us too. The more positive attitude you go in with, the more positive outcomes that take place in there. Like if I've been in a bad mood or something that day, or one of us got in a fight with somebody, or we're all in a bad mood and we go into there, it doesn't seem like anything happens. If we're all like, oh my gosh, and we're all psyched and hyped up about the night, it seems like good things happen. Or like even the people on our tours that went there. Nothing against the individual that got hit, but I think he kind of was going in with a more negative attitude than he should have been. I think he was looking at it like, oh, these people are, are just, I don't know. It was just a negative type attitude, and he got hit in the knee and had to be taken out by ambulance. Nothing against the guy. He's probably watching out there, but I think, attitudes affect environments, especially when you're doing paranormal research and investigations. And we've learned that from Pine Lawn too. We're learning a bunch of stuff from this place. So, you got to be careful, what you're thinking and how you're feeling when you go into some of these places, because it can actually affect the results of your investigation and the outcome of your investigation. So Dinah said, this place sounds so awesome. I have to go. I love thinking about how this is happening and all that entails. I know. And I'm serious. Like, if anybody's watching out there, if you're a physicist, or if you're, into quantum mechanics, a lot about physics and science, and you can explain how a marble can materialize out of nowhere, please do so, because I would love to know, because this is something that probably they can't even get to happen at CERN, where they're trying to figure out, all this time warp stuff. I mean, if you guys can figure it out, definitely give us theories, as to what's going on, because we have ruled out people throwing it. We have ruled out people hiding in the attic, throwing it. It doesn't even come from the attic. We have ruled out, any of us having anything on us. We go in with empty pockets, and we check the public when they go in now to make sure they have empty pockets, no coins or no marbles. It comes from nowhere. It comes from directions where we aren't. It comes from down the hall, a long hallway, guys. I'm talking like a 30-yard hallway. It comes from down the hallway toward us where nobody's at, or halfway down the hallway. Sometimes it drops right in front of our faces. It just varies, but it never comes from like the direction of a person. Like if I were to throw a coin or a marble, it would go out away from me. It seems to always come in toward our group, to where there's out of nowhere, out of an empty room, out of an empty hallway. That's the weird thing. It's not shooting away from us. It's coming at us. That's how I could explain it too, as it being paranormal. I mean, and it's coming from nowhere. I physically, you got to take my word for it. I seen a quarter come out of a wall. I know you're going to put me in a mental institution probably, but I seen a quarter come out of a wall, guys, on our Halloween one, and multiple other people did too. It flew out of the wall, went toward my face, deflected, and went the other direction. It's coming out of places it should not be coming out of. And the marbles just come out of nowhere. They'll come out from a door that the door is shut and the wall is solid behind it, and it'll pop out underneath the door. And there's a solid wall behind there, and they'll be propelled by their own motion. That's what's cool too. The objects themselves seem to be propelled by their own motion, especially the marbles. When they roll, they'll roll for quite a ways and propel themselves. It's pretty weird. Jeremy Cass says, what about a film crew to show those of us who would love to see? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We need to make a documentary, Jeremy. And if I can find, we need a film crew outside of ourselves. We need to find a film crew that's interested in shooting this, that's not associated with us. So you guys know, it's not connected to us, because I want to prove to you guys that this is real. So we would need a film crew, like I say, an outside film crew to come in and film this as a documentary and try to catch this activity taking place. Because, yeah, most definitely, I want a documentary made. I want this stuff to be shown to the world. Jeremy's talking about a film crew. I mean, we can film it all night long, but it's still us saying it. It's like, and we're going to try to get actual physical evidence, though. Now we're going to go into the science of it. Now we're going to figure out if those, like I say, we're going to use cameras, every thermal imaging, temperature, radiation, Geiger counters, EMF meters, tri-field meters. We're going to see if these objects are throwing off any type of unusual readings when they hit. She lives north of Florida, about 15 minutes. I'll go with you, Gina West says. Negative energies produce negative energies, Ashley says, definitely. Diana says they do Facebook Lives. Sorry, I'm catching up on comments here, guys. You got a lot of them going on here. I'm trying to answer all your comments, too. Yeah, if you guys want to throw some comments, I'll kind of leave this last portion open. I'll try to answer a lot of your questions. And like I say, send me private messages. I know I can't take everyone. I wish I could. But I will seriously, if you guys are hardcore skeptics, that's what I want. I want hardcore skeptics that don't believe a word I'm saying right now. That's the ones I want to take. And unfortunately, I know some of you watch our feeds every night, night in, night out. I mean, I do want to take you guys, but I want to find people that don't believe me. That's who I want to take in there. I mean, I want to show people that don't believe in anything, especially because I've done that already. We had a guy, he's an atheist. He didn't even believe in God. He didn't believe in anything. He came in, changed. I'm pretty sure he's changed his whole viewpoints on life after being in there. I mean, I don't know how he couldn't have after what he's seen. So, but yeah, I want to try to get to a lot of you guys that do want to go in there. Like I said, I can't take you all at once. I'll try to take, a lot of you, but send me personal messages onto our page and say, hey, I want to see Pine Lawn, and, I'm skeptical, or, I want to see this for myself. And, I'll try to get you guys in there, and we'll try to take 2 or 3 at a time, because that's what we want to do. When we do our private investigations, we want to bring in 5 to 10 people from the public to verify what we're seeing too, that just don't believe in it. So I watch the lives and my boyfriend listens and laughs. Debbie says, Sarah says, Greg Simpson is awesome for filming. Okay. Yeah. I'm not familiar, or Greg Gibson is awesome for filming. Sorry, not Simpson. Greg Gibson is awesome for filming. Sarah said, yeah, send me that info if you guys know anybody that would do that, that has, some filming experience that would want to do a documentary or film. But Tammy Jo says, I want my husband to go. He doesn't believe any of this. Where is Pine Lawn? Sarah, Pine Lawn's located in Sumner, Illinois. And we're currently kind of, I guess you would call it, managing it. we've got a deal with the owner right now that we can go in and investigate anytime, do these public events, and we're helping him out too. And so, but the building has been offered to us to buy, and we're seriously thinking about buying the place. We probably are. I mean, I'm going to tell you that straight up. We're probably buying it. So I'm also making a page here soon, a Pine Lawn Manor Facebook page. If you guys out there watching, so look forward to seeing that, because I don't want to fill our Crawford County Ghost Hunter page up with Pine Lawn Manor activity reports every 2 days, because I'm going to be investigating this place every night that I can be over there, to be honest. I'm going to be there every night I can physically be there. I'm going to go. So, I mean, I'm going to make a page, and we're going to post all of our events at Pine Lawn Manor on this page. And we're also going to make public events, where teams and, we're going to make it available for paranormal investigation teams to come in and investigate also. So, look forward to that page popping up here soon. It's going to be managed and ran by the Crawford County, Illinois Ghost Hunter Society. And we're going to, hopefully show, more people this location. So, Deb says, wish I lived closer. Would really like to experience something like this. I've got one of those too. Not that I don't believe you, in case have to see it to believe it. Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't believe what I'm saying either, guys. That's all I'm saying. That's why I want to bring you guys in here. Debbie, I'm still reading your comments, guys. But yeah, that's kind of what we got going on now. But we'll get a page out here soon, on Pine Lawn Manor. You're going to make a Pine Lawn Manor Facebook page so you guys can add it and spread the word around about this place, so we can, take more people in there to show them what's going on. And we're going hardcore now. We're going to scientifically investigate this place and try to figure out, try to come up with an explanation for what is happening. So Greg says, sounds like a lot of fun. Greg, yeah, get a hold of me. Definitely come down, Greg. I need you and your team, come down, bring a couple of people, bring Kelly with you, and come down and check this place out, because it's awesome. But it says, Sarah has a good question here before I leave. It says, has your life changed since going there? And 100% yes. Sarah, 100% yes. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how much. We have lots of equipment, Sarah. If you're asking me, we have all kinds of paranormal equipment. But yeah, my life's changed big time. I mean, I've always been skeptical regarding paranormal research and investigations. And even though I've been doing this for 24 years, I've investigated over 7,000 locations. I've got over 7,000 documented locations that I've investigated, or investigations that I've conducted. And I've went all over the United States. I've been all over. I've been to places where they said I wouldn't come out alive. I've been to demonic possessions. I've been to, exorcisms. I've been to, the most haunted house in the world. I've never seen anything like this. And it's definitely changed my viewpoints, because there's been times during my paranormal career that I'm like, I don't even know if ghosts are real anymore. I'll get all this stuff on our ITC devices, all this, all the voices coming across an EVP that, back up that it's real, because I can't explain EVP and some of the things we get on that come across ghost boxes and ITC devices when they have intelligent responses. That's my best evidence to date before Pine Lawn Manor. Now I have physical evidence showing me that ghosts and spirits are real, and that there is some dimension that we cannot see, hear, smell, taste. There's some, with our senses, we cannot see what is happening. So, it showed me 100% that yes, there is another world beyond ours. What that world is, what that dimension is, we can only guess. But it does show me that, yeah, we 100% survived death. And, that's a big game changer, too, for a lot of people. If you don't fear death if you don't fear dying, that's a lot of power right there, because people can say they don't fear death through religion and all that. But when you have absolute proof that we survived death like we have regarding Pine Lawn Manor, it's a game changer. It's a life changer to know that we don't die. I mean, our bodies may die, but our soul, spirits, force, whatever you want to call it, they go on. And Pine Lawn Manor has definitely proven that to me. You know, that's been my whole thing during my career as a paranormal investigator and researcher. You know, I've been researching life after death. You know, who doesn't want to know if we go on? You know, if we survive death, you know, in one way or in one form or another, you know, that's the biggest question, you know, that mankind's been trying to answer since the beginning of time. And it scares a lot of people. A lot of people are afraid of it, so they don't dive into it. You know, they don't dive deep into the psychology and the mindset of, you know, of death and researching the afterlife, because it scares people, you know, and like, you shouldn't be afraid. And Pine Lawn Manor's told me that, you know, it's definitely real. Life after death is real, and definitely different dimensions. You know, I don't know where this stuff is coming from. We've seen full body apparitions in there. We've seen shadow figures. We've seen things come out of nowhere. We've seen knocks, bangs, all intelligent responses to our questions that we ask. No other explanation than, you know, life goes on. So, yeah, and I know that was a long-winded explanation for has it changed my life. And yeah, it has, definitely. I would say any atheists out there, even, I would love to bring atheists into this building. You know, and we did. You know, there was one that changed his whole mindset. You know, I would like to bring people that don't believe in anything in here and have them explain what's happening. You know, that's my thing too. You know, if you can figure out what's going on, then more power to you. Ashley says empathy and psychics are science, unfortunately. Yeah. Are not science, right? Yeah, I see what you said there. And then Marty says, did you get the EVPs I sent you, foreign language, and more, Jason? I don't think I did, Marty. But we have gotten several EVPs in a foreign language, which is cool too. That verifies through EVP and electronic voice phenomena that, you know, foreign language, you know, I can't speak any other foreign language, but we get EVPs a lot of times that are in another language, and somebody can listen to those EVPs and translate that in another language. So that verifies too that there's stuff going on we can't explain. So John Miller says we need to talk sometime about dying. Yeah, definitely, John. I'm up for any type of conversation like that, for sure. But yeah, hit me up, John, personally on Facebook or on the page, and we'll get together sometime. But anyway, guys, that's probably going to do the show for tonight. I appreciate you guys for, yeah, I do remember that German EVP Ashley right there at the end. But that's probably going to do the show for tonight, guys. I appreciate y'all watching and listening to me rambling about this place again, because I can't get enough of it, and I'm fired up, and I cannot tell the world enough about this location. So anybody that wants to go, try to message me. We'll try to get you in. Again, like I said, I can't take everybody, but we'll take as many as we can, you know, throughout the course of us being able to investigate this place. So how can someone request a visit? Just message me, Sarah. Right now, we're controlling that as of right now, as far as the paranormal stuff goes. So Sarah, just send me a message, and we'll set something up. Send us a message to the page if you want to visit this location, and we will definitely take you in and show you guys. So thank you guys. This is a great show. Yeah, Carson said, I don't know if what we call ghosts are real, but there is some type of intelligent force that is beyond this world. 100%, Carson. So, but yeah, thanks guys for watching. I'm going to get out of here for tonight, and hopefully I'll have more stuff to tell you on the next show, and we will hopefully see some of you guys down there, and you can see this stuff for yourself. So have a good evening, everyone, and we'll go live on our next paranormal investigation. Not sure where. We got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of investigations coming up here in the near future. We've got a big deal going on, hopefully at Effingham, Illinois. That's going to be a public event at the Effing Brewery. We've just got to set up a time and place for the brewery there in Effingham, Illinois. and we're going to have a public event, I think, going on there also. But yeah, check our page often, and we'll put up updates as much as we can. So have a good night, everyone.